Hey, welcome to Songwriting Tales. I'm Mark.
And I'm Craig.
Craig, today we have somebody on that I have followed his career forever as a songwriter and a composer. Tell us about Steve Dorff.
Steve Dorff. I'm going to just read my list because my memory can't contain all of that is on this list.
I bet his memory can't
Oh
contain
my
everything on
gosh.
that list.
So, Steve Dorff has written songs. This is just a small fraction out of thousands. Written songs for Barbra Streisand, George Strait, Whitney Houston, Smokey Robinson, Willie Nelson, Merle Haggard, Aaron Neville, Alison Krauss, Celine Dion, Kenny Loggins, on and on and on. Not only that, Mark, but he has written scores for movies such as Rocky IV. He's done 5 Clint Eastwood movies. He's written the score for Maverick, The Last Boy Scout, and then for TV, he's written the theme songs for Through the Years, Growing Pains, Murder, She Wrote, Columbo, on and on and on. This is going to be an amazing podcast today, my man.
I cannot wait. Let's do it. Hey, we are back with the legendary Steve Dorff, songwriter extraordinaire, producer, you name it. And I can't wait to hear everything else that he's into. So, Craig, I'm going to let you give the man his proper introduction, and then we'll get started.
I will love to. Hello, Steve. Good to have you, man.
How you doing, guys?
Great to see
Absolutely.
you.
So I was talking with Ed C., who is a mutual friend of ours, and actually Steve works with Ed on a regular basis. Ed is a producer out in Nashville, and he had mentioned Steve, and so I thought, oh, Steve Dorff, yeah, man. I mean, I don't know if I could ever talk to that guy, but I looked you up and reached out to you and asked you to come on the podcast. Now, Steve is an award-winning songwriter out of Nashville. He has had more hits than there is grass in the field, as I like to say, and a brilliant songwriter. Your highlight, I'm going to mention this, is that in 2018 you were elected into the Songwriters Hall of Fame. And we're so glad you're here, man. So
Thank
we're
you.
you bet, Mark. You wanna start us off on our segments here?
Yeah, let's. I mean, let's go back. Let's talk about your background. Because I've seen your name on so many CDs. You know, as songwriters, we always look and say, "Gosh, you wrote that song," and your name sure came up a lot. So let's go back and talk about your background. I want to know, you know, how you got started. What led you from. I saw one of your projects is I guess demos that became number one hits. I saw that on your website, and
Yeah, yeah.
it had a picture of you and your little tyke. So
Right.
kind of start us off. I mean, as much detail or whatever. I just want to know how you got to where you got.
Yeah, if you asked my mother, she'd tell you I came out of the womb singing
Mhm.
instead of screaming. I've had this little music orchestra in my head since I can remember, and uh, was actually probably composing or underscoring my life since I can remember.
Mhm.
5 years old, being out, I grew up in New York City, and
Okay.
being out with friends, having a snowball fight. Everybody would be trying to keep from getting hit, and I'd be in the middle getting hit from all sides, musicalizing it. So, uh,
Scoring the scene.
yeah, pretty much my entire life's been everything I experience or see or hear translates into music. So it's as natural to me as breathing. So when I try to explain that to people, they look at me like I'm nuts. But that's the truth. And then, of course, when I got into my teens, I started plunking around on the piano and trying to understand what it was I was hearing and trying to play what I was hearing.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, it just turned into a career. Having my first songs recorded when I was 16, 17 years old.
Wow.
And then eventually learning how to collaborate and write really good songs instead of the ones I was writing all by myself,
Mm-hmm.
and living life long enough to experience things worth writing about.
Mm.
And then, I think for me it's always been about manifest destiny, and being at the right place at the right time. Uh, a lot of that, you can't really put your finger on one specific thing.
Are you self-taught on the piano, or did you go and study?
Totally self-taught. Yeah.
And
Wow.
you didn't start the piano until your teens, so you didn't play an instrument until you were already thinking of these tunes, and then all of a
Correct.
sudden, yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
Did you ever play?
probably
Go ahead.
probably 10 or 11 I started plunking around on the piano. And um, my sister, who was 9 years older than me, took piano lessons. And so I'd have to listen to her practicing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this gift, or whatever you want to call it. I would crawl up on the piano bench and play what she was playing better than she could,
Mm.
So
Mm-hmm.
she, of course, wanted to break my fingers and arms. Um, but yeah, that's never took a lesson. No.
Your mom's probably appreciates the fact that she didn't have to drop all those dollars on your lessons then, and
Yeah, right.
that's a
Right.
good thing. So, did you ever play out live as a musician? Did you ever go out and do the gigs?
No, well, I formed a band when I was in my teens. We
Mm-hmm.
got together, and some of my friends, and formed a couple of little bands. We wanted to be the Beatles, and
Mm-hmm.
um, but I wanted to write songs for the group, and they wanted to cover all the
Yeah.
what was on the radio, so they threw me out of the band. And but I never really enjoyed playing out. That wasn't my thing. I much preferred writing and arranging,
Mm.
uh,
Mm.
studying records, studying the orchestration and the arrangements that were being done on my favorite songs. And that's really how I learned, from great arrangers. I was it was weird. I'd buy records and tune out the lead vocalist and just listen to what the band was doing. And
Wow.
and that and then became pretty good as a player. And when I moved to Los Angeles, um, I got into playing on records and session playing, and that was kind of the beginning.
So you went from New York to Los Angeles, and what year was that?
No, I actually went to the University of Georgia.
Oh,
Is
go
that
Yeah,
right?
dogs.
What year were you
I
there?
go dogs. I graduated in 1971, I think,
Okay.
74. I can't remember.
What
Yeah.
what was your
And
degree in? What did you study?
journalism.
Oh.
After I really majored in partying, but
You and everybody else.
and watching football. But
Mm.
yeah, I school was something I did because my parents wanted me to have a real job.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that was, where their generation came from.
Mm-hmm.
Music was a great hobby, but you can't make a living at it.
Oh yeah, we've all heard
So
that.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, I went to, and then I gravitated to Atlanta and signed my first deal with Bill Lowry at Lowry Music,
Yeah, we knew Bill.
and was there for 4 years, and then felt like I needed to be in Los Angeles because I wanted to do film and TV music my whole life, and that's where it was.
That is, I had no idea that you had an Atlanta connection. Did you happen to know Ed back in it when he was with Web Four and all of that?
We had met. I had
Mm-hmm.
done some arranging for Paul Davis, and some
Yeah.
string arrangements for Paul, and and we were kind of tennis buddies for a while.
Is that right?
And yeah, and yeah, I knew of Ed. I think I probably met him a couple of times over there at Web 4, but I didn't work there much.
Right, right. And Doug Johnson, I guess you knew Doug as a matter with over at
Doug
the
was
same.
after. Doug came to Lowry after I left.
Gotcha, gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha. So let's move over to songwriting. Just as the nuts and bolts of songwriting. I heard a quote from Barry Gibb from the Bee Gees, and he said he always starts with the music first. I mean, it seemed like it was ironclad, and the way he put it was because I have a vehicle now that I can lay the lyrics on top of. It kind of dictates lyrically how the emotion of the song is going to go, dictates what the lyrics are going to be. Um, I want to hear what you say, and obviously everybody has a different take on it. That's Barry's thing, and it seems to work. But
Well, because again, when I think for Barry, having the Bee Gees as the act, I think writer performer writers, songwriter performers like an Elton John, uh, like the Beatles, like
mm-hmm.
you know uh, Vince Gill, anybody that's writing primarily for themselves. The process, I would imagine, it would be different than my process. If you ever heard me sing, you'd know why you never heard me on the radio.
I have
So,
not.
so, so, so my process was always, uh, what do I have to write to get Tom Jones or Engelbert Humperdinck
Mm,
or Whitney Houston or anybody to
yeah,
cut my songs. Um, Sometimes it came from something I'd hear someone say. Sometimes it would come from a tune in my head, all different ways.
yeah,
I
yep.
would say now, having amassed this body of work, I would have to say it's 50-50 with me. I've written a lot of great songs to a lyric that have been sent to me, just, writing to a lyric that, or if I'm collaborating with someone and they throw out a title, all of a
Mm.
sudden my hands will hit the keyboard and some magic happens. I'm not one of these guys that slaves over a hot piano. Um, it either happens very quickly for me or it doesn't happen at all.